Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to this series of videos, which will assist you in understanding the upcoming changes that are occurring for the Radiation Oncology Training Program, as well as some of the key components within the program. By way of introduction, many of you may be wondering why we embarked on the training and assessment reform process. In December 2014, the College commissioned a full review of its assessment and examination processes for fellowship training across both faculties. The Australian Council for Education Research, or ACER for short, and Professor David Prideaux, a medical educator from Flinders University, were engaged to evaluate the quality and sustainability of RANZCO's assessment and examination program at both operational and strategic levels, and to recommend suitable strategies for improvement. The intention of the ACER-Prideaux review was to ensure that the college is an exemplar of current best practice in medical education, being well prepared for the future and confident that all its processes involving assessments and examinations are defendable, transparent, and fair to all trainees. At the same time, many of the previous learning outcomes since version 2 of the curriculum in 2012 required updating, and it has been recognized that better tools were required for monitoring trainee progression. The recommendations for improvement put forward by the ACER-Prideaux review centered on two key concepts: constructive alignment and programmatic assessment. Constructive alignment requires clear articulation of the learning outcomes of the training program, whilst ensuring that they are aligned with the teaching strategies and assessment tasks. It also requires maintaining a balance between theory and practice, and having a well-defined framework of assessments and examinations to evaluate the learning outcomes. Programmatic assessment is an integral approach of an assessment program whereby individual assessments are chosen in such a way that the whole are more than the sum of its parts. It is having a holistic view of performance across multiple individual data points. It recognizes that competency develops over time, so assessment information is gathered progressively, with all available data assessed in measuring the achievement of learning outcomes. To implement the recommendations from the ACER-Prideaux review, the college initiated the training and assessment reform and formed a task force to oversee the reform. A steering committee was established for radiation oncology to oversee the review and development of the enhanced radiation oncology training program. 7 working groups were formed under the oversight of the steering committee to be the workhorses for this process. The final training program, therefore, represents a large body of work achieved as a cooperative effort by many people within and outside the college. What has been reviewed and updated so far? All learning outcomes have been extensively reviewed and updated with current practice. Work-based assessment tools were identified and added so that information on the trainee's progress can be captured more meticulously. The purpose of each assessment and examination and its relationship to the overall learning outcomes are more clearly defined. And lastly, in line with the programmatic assessment concept mentioned previously, the entire assessment framework has been revised so that comprehensive information regarding a trainee's performance and progress can be determined. The entire training program for radiation oncology will therefore consist of the following components: learning outcomes, work-based assessments, structured learning activities, monitoring, review, and feedback tools, the examinations, and trainee progression rules. Please watch our other videos to learn more about each component of the training program.